thousands of years, he said, his ancestors had conducted regular slow burns, reducing the fuel load when the weather was still cool, so there wasn't enough left to start a fire when the earth was baking and the northwesters howling, and the merest spark was all it took. It seemed to Percy that men like Jimmy Riley, who knew this country from the inside out, weren't listened to anywhere near as often as they should be. The most recent call had come through from Angus McNamara down near Meadows the week before. The mild, wet years, his 55, had resulted in rich growth, and the forest of Kaipo was thick with foliage. One stray lightning bolt, one dropped match, and the whole lot would go up. They'd been at it all week, and had finished slashing in time for Christmas. Just as well. Storms were forecast over the weekend, but there was every chance the rain would pass them by, and they'd be left with dry strikes instead. Meg had been less than thrilled when Percy told her he'd be gone during the busiest time of year, but she knew it had to be done, and that Percy wasn't one to shirk. Their boys had been drafted in as proxies at the shop, and Meg had grudgingly agreed that it was no bad thing for the lads to have some real responsibilities. Percy had left them the Forge utility and taken Blaze on the run down to Meadows. Truth be told, Percy preferred to go on horseback. He'd hated putting the ute up on blocks during the war, but he couldn't get petrol for love nor money. What little there was has been requisitioned by the army and other essential services, and by the time they were able to pull the motor down again, he got out of the habit of driving. They kept the ute for bigger deliveries, but whenever he could, Percy saddled up Blaze for the ride. She was an old girl now, not the fearsome young filly who had come to them back in 41, but she still loved to run. The McNamara place was a big cattle property this side of Meadows that most people referred to simply as the station. The house was large and flat, with a wide veranda running all the way around, and a deep iron awning keeping the heat at bay. Percy had been offered a spot in the shed to sleep, but he'd been happy to take his swag out under the stars. He didn't get much chance to camp these days, what with the shop keeping them so busy and the boys growing up. 16 and 14 they were now, both taller than him and with boots as big, each preferring to spend time with friends rather than camp with the old man. Percy didn't begrudge his boys their independence, but he missed them. Some of his best memories were of sitting around the campfire, telling stories and making each other laugh, counting the stars in the night sky and teaching them real skills, like how to find fresh water and catch their own food. He was giving them each a new fishing rod for Christmas. Meg had accused him of extravagance when he brought the presents home from town, but she'd said it with a smile. She knew he'd been looking for something to soften the terrible blow of losing old Buddy Dog in the spring. Percy had justified the cost by reminding her that Marcus, in particular, was becoming a fine angler. He could do worse than to take it up full time.